everyone, it's Sharana from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing and recapping Love is Blind Season 6, Episode 7 and 9. For the sake of keeping this video as short as I possibly can, I'm just going to go through the highlights of what is happening with our couples in this new batch of episodes. They're still dysfunctional, it's still chaotic, but hey, isn't that why we watch Love is Blind at this point? So, let's go into the least problematic couple. I think I'm going to go from least problematic to highest level of problematic, and I think the rankings shifted in this batch of episodes. So I'm going to start with Amy and Johnny, which just sucks because you always have that one couple and they're just so happy together and they do things like go horseback riding and take salsa lessons and meet the family and just have a nice family dinner, and you get no screen time because you have no drama or chaos. And that's Amy and Johnny this season. The only thing I will say is if I have to hear about like birth control and vasectomies and not wanting to have sex because you don't want to have kids, like, honey, I get it if you try to be celibate. I get it if you're trying to sell a little bit, okay? But what I don't understand is, like, do you not understand the concept of a condom, the concept of a pull-out method? There's just so many ways that you can still have fun. You can blow your fiance back out and you can still avoid having children. And I really find, I'm gonna hold production at fault for this because I really just want them to ask the question that everybody's thinking, like, Johnny, do you just not wanna wrap it up? You just trying to go guns a-blazing? Or are you just that paranoid that even with you wrapping it up and doing other methods, like, that's still not enough for you? I just feel like there's like a hint of anxiety in Johnny's life because it's just like, he like, I want to buy a house. I want to be frugal, so I ain't got to spend a lot of money. Now, I was like, now, Johnny, if you think I'm going to sit up here and be frugal because you are doomsday planning, I don't know what type of planning that you're doing, you're sadly mistaken. Like, hey, I'm all for being frugal and saving money. I used to be an extreme couponer, okay? There are ways to be frugal and still live your life. But I really just want Johnny to like wake up, smell the flowers, and just exist and love life and be in the moment and not think about all these crazy things. That's probably why, like, I feel like they can't even get into any additional conflict because my man's is just so caught up on not having kids and being able to retire at a certain age. Now, what I did think was weird though was when Amy was like, you know, what about a vasectomy? And I was like, not Amy. Like, girl, what? Like, why would you say that? I mean, I understand. I'm totally on her side. Like, this isn't an Amy thing that only she has to find a way to prevent having kids, which I keep saying I feel like men should just be the ones that are on birth control and not women. But it was just, that was a lot. It was a lot. And then I was concerned for, like, Amy because she was like, yeah, you know, my doctor's been telling me, that I need to do something because my terrible like cycles. And then she's like, but it's not that irregular. And I was like, honey, I want you to live a peaceful life too, honey. So I want you to look into that for yourself, not because Johnny told you to do so, but I do want you to look in and just making sure that you have some peace internally for yourself as well. But honestly, I thought it was cute when they met, when Amy met Johnny's family. I thought that was super cute. I love his family's energy. They just have really great energy, which just kept making me think, like, why is he so anxious for a young guy? Like, to have that cool of a family, I'm just not understanding. But I thought it was really cool, them meeting each other. I'm interested to see what happens when she eventually, when he meets her dad, because she was a little apprehensive about that. But, I mean, that's all you can really talk about with them. Either we're going to be talking about everything but using a condom and pulling out, or trying to buy a house and a random vasectomy at the same time. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just like, it is what it is. So if I had to say who is the next of the least, well, who used to be Kenneth, let's just talk about Kenneth and Brittany, because I was rooting for them. And I'm really hurt the fact that Kenneth and Brittany didn't work out. I mean, it started out fine. I felt like they had some of the best communication out of all the couples on the show. So we see at the beginning of the batch of episodes that Kenneth brought up the conversation that he had with AD about race. And, you know, I thought Brittany actually handled it well. I also want an apology because y'all tried to come for me and say, oh no, Brittany hasn't dated black men before. And I was like, everything about Brittany told me she didn't have some black men before. I don't know why y'all were trying to go against me. But I did think it was weird. She's like, well, I know it's a challenge for black men being with white women. And I was like, is it though? Is it really a challenge? I'm sure somebody's gonna come for my head in the comment section, but I don't think it's that much of a challenge. I see it all the time, but you know, it is what it is. But I do like that he was preparing her like, hey, my family go hard for me, and because I ain't never been with a white woman before, like they gonna be asking you some tough questions, and like, you know, I need you to be able to get through it. So at the beginning of the batch of episodes, I'm like, okay, I just love how they communicate with one another. But then when he gave her a fist bump after they just had this really great conversation, I do want to give production kudos, because if you weren't watching or they hadn't included all these interactions of them having conversations, awkward silences, her having the whole conversation about physical touch, like when we get to the ending of their relationship, you would have thought that she was in the wrong. But the entire time I'm just like, I do feel like she was communicating with him this entire time that she wants to be touched. And like, okay, y'all made a pact that you don't want to have sex, and that's totally fine. And I respect that. I thought it was dope that y'all did that, but that don't mean that you can't hug, touch. You can grab my butt a little bit. You can squeeze a little boob a little bit or something. Like, you know, brush up against me, honey. Like, let me know you want me. That's all she wanted. She just wanted to get poked in the back real quick. Like in the middle of the night, just get like a little poke so she know her dude want her. That's all she wanted. That's all she wanted in the first place. So when they go to the scene about them on the boat, and it's like this terrible, awkward silence. And it's made me think the whole time, like, does he not like her? Well, it's clear he don't like her. It's clear he doesn't like Brittany. But I don't know if he doesn't like Brittany because she's a white woman. I don't know if he don't like Brittany because he got somebody else. Because clearly the way my man was glued to his phone, he got somebody. He messing with somebody. But I just don't know. But when he saw a dolphin, he just opened up and started talking. Like, I was like, who is this? Because this ain't the Kenneth that I knew. It sure ain't. But then she's like, oh, can I get a dolphin on aisle 2? Can I get dolphins all day? Anything to get this man to talk to me because he don't talk? I found myself getting upset. I had to bring it back. Because Kenneth really disappointed me because I was really rooting for him. So I do like that she does bring up, I did think that Brittany did a really great job of trying to communicate her feelings throughout the course of the show. You know, when she touched him, it's like, how do you feel about physical touch? When he was like, oh, like, I love physical touch. You know, all my exes, they say that, like, I was too touchy-feely. I said, now, Kenneth, why are you lying? Who said that? Not fist bump Kenneth. Not Kenneth. What are you talking about? It just... He don't like that woman. He never liked her. You can't tell me that he ever liked Brittany. I don't know what the disconnect was because I don't think Brittany is ugly. I thought she was a pretty girl. So it's him saying that he's super affectionate and I haven't even seen him kiss her. It's just crazy to me. It's wild. So she continues to like make these comments like, you know, she just makes a lot of comments basically saying like, please touch me in some way, shape or form. Touch me, rub up on me, try something with me. I don't know. But when Kenneth looked at AD and Clay kissing, he was like, oh yes, turn me on. I said, what? Now why you get more excited to see them kissing? And you got your own fiance that you could be kissing and you don't care. I was very confused by that. Did anyone get thrown? Y'all not ready. It's fine. I was just like, instead of you rooting them on, go kiss your own fiance. But I did feel like at first I was kind of on the side with the phone thing. Like if you have a very demanding job and you've been gone for like 2 weeks without any communication to the outside world, I would expect somebody to be on their phone, especially because he's a principal, so he's very involved. So I did feel like Brittany kind of was making passive aggressive comments like, girl, can I sit down? Like, you want me to just immediately start moving and unpacking and doing all these things? I can't do that for you. I can't be that for you. And I did like the conversation that Kenneth and Brittany had, you know, when she was, once again, I did feel like Brittany would bring up things, but what she really wanted to say is, I don't feel desired by you, but she would just bring up other random things. And I do feel like Kenneth was too emotionally intelligent for her. I don't want to give Kenneth all the credit because I do think he was gaslighting her a lot of these episodes. But I do like that he brought up like, hey, you gotta give me grace. Like, I'm not gonna show up the same way every single day. And you're not gonna do that either. So I need you to give me grace and I'm gonna give you grace. But I was just like, while I like what he was saying, I just felt like Brittany just needs to say what she really wants to say, but I just felt like she was too afraid to say it. I do have a problem with him having only 2 seasonings in his cabinet and not one of them was the Morton's seasoning salt. I just feel like the ancestors are rolling in their graves, and especially to do this during Black History Month, it's just very disrespectful, Kenneth. But he was in his phone a little bit too much. Like when she was trying to have a conversation with him in the next episode and he was like on his phone, but then he eventually put it down. I was like, okay, Kenneth got another boo. I don't care what nobody says, Kenneth got another boo. Cause the way my man's was unfazed and constantly in his phone, I let you have it from when you first came back, but it was just a little bit too much for me. And I was very upset with how they ended things. I think that him listening to her and kind of repeating what she said, but still not acknowledging her feelings and how she felt. He really tried to make this a one-sided thing, but you trying to bring up, you tried to kiss me at 1:30 in the morning when you knew I had to be up in 3.5 hours. Baby, that wouldn't have been no cute response to me either. Cause I actually probably would have tried to fight you. Cause why do you have the lights on? It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm trying to figure out what you was doing in the first place. Like, no. I just felt like the examples he was trying to give, like he thought he was eating and he really had some points in this conversation. But I was just like, you're seriously gaslighting her. And it's clear she's telling you, we don't make out, you don't touch me. Like you give me fist bumps that should be kisses. You get more turned on when Clay and AD kissing instead of you coming to kiss me or poke up against me or rub up on me. That don't make any sense. In a way that he was just so nonchalant, like, oh, okay, so like we done. And he was like, yo, I'm finna come through. But he has another person. He is smashing somebody else. Like, I feel like he applied for this experiment and he was probably already talking to somebody, but still decided to go on the show. And I just felt like he didn't like Brittany, wasn't attracted to Brittany, especially not sexually attracted to Brittany. Because I know people make pacts before the Lord, but honey, my groins, my loins, whatever you call it for the woman, my cooch, like it's going to have desire and lust, okay? All right? We should have been in the prayer closet praying together that, Lord, please don't let him poke me in my back because I don't think my flesh can take it anymore. That's how it should have been. It should have been we too hot and heavy that we got to go get in the prayer closet and pray that we remain celibate. So I don't sell a little bit. Okay, is it celibate or abstinent? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I just really didn't like how they ended it. I really thought that he did her hella dirty, and I was rooting for you. But you were a terrible partner. And I really hope that they address this on the finale. And I do hope that Brittany says how she actually feels. Because I felt like there was even more that she wanted to allude to. But I felt like she was just trying to keep it cute for the cameras. Because I do have some additional theories. I definitely think he had another girl. He had somebody. He had something else going on, and he definitely did not like Brittany at all. But let's move on in level of, you know, just these couples, okay? Let's go to AD and Clay. Let's go to AD and Clay. All right. So AD and Clay, actually, they didn't have that much like craziness going on. I probably should have switched them with Brittany and Kenneth. But Clay and AD, I mean, the red light kisses, it was cute. I think I'm just like a terrible human being. So like, I don't know how I would do on a show like Love is Blind because I'm the type of person like, if I don't really like you like that, you doing all of that, that probably would turn me off. And I do feel like there were a lot of moments, especially when he was like eating that soup. I said, baby, can I get some of that soup? because the way my man slurping and everything, like, it was too much. AD looked completely turned off when he was doing all of this, but shout out to production again for their editing of this scene, because it was really funny to me, but AD was definitely like turned off. Now, I'm rooting for Clay. However, this is why I think we need a therapy component to Love is Blind. It's clear that Clay grew up in a very dysfunctional view of what relationships look like. You had a father taking you on trips where he's actively cheating on your mother in front of you. Like, my man's was going on trips, taking a kid, like, hey girl, I'm gonna give you the house to yourself so he can go cheat on her in front of you. Like, that's a level of disrespect. Like, I know he said that I'm a good father, but no, because I feel like his daddy didn't respect him, because for you to be okay with cheating on your wife in front of your child, that's just like another level for me. And it's clear that Clay is not ready for a relationship, and damn sure not ready to be married or engaged to anyone. Like, honestly, girl, run. Like, what are you still doing there? This is not gonna work out. And I have to say, like, him continuously saying, like, I want to do therapy, like, I felt like it would have been really great in production to be like, hey, let's set up a therapy appointment. I did like how he went into, like, all these images of what Black love and Black marriage looks like has ended in infidelity. I like that he talked about what happened with his father, but also, too, that he talked about the celebrities and the musicians that he idolizes, like, how they're not faithful. And I do wish that, like, not everybody's like that. There are positive representations of Black love that we see in media, but that's why your community, your village is so important to you, and the images, the representation of what we see on screen, off screen. I just think that is so important, and it really hurt to see Clay yearn to see positive relationships and he not be able to actually see that. Now, on the flip side, I do feel like there comes a certain point in time when you have to take responsibility to heal and move forward from your past trauma. Clay's in his 30s. Like, I get it. You had an effed up childhood. Your dad wasn't the best example of what it meant to be a husband, a lover. Like, I get it. But you got to figure out how you're going to move forward, because it's kind of on you now. Like, yeah, you couldn't help it when you were a child, but it's on you. And I feel like every episode I watch, Clay is slowly but surely telling AD, like, I am not ready to be in a relationship, because he just be saying it out of the blue. Like, it annoyed her when he said it when they were still on, like, their little honeymoon trip. And I just feel like every single conversation they have, he finds some way, shape, or form to just be like, I'm not ready. And that's a problem. But shout out to Clay for having his own house since he was 21, and had the vision board and, you know, the nice bed. Well, he didn't have no nice bed and pillows. I don't know why the man can't have no nice bed and pillows. Like, y'all don't want to sleep good? Like, you really need a woman to just know your worth for what you should be sleeping on? That's just really crazy to me. But, you know, as we get into the final episode, there were some little things that did bother me with Clay. When she was going to meet his mom and his sister, which I thought was a really cute meeting. I liked that the mama got them together, because I do think that Clay is very selfish. I was upset that Clay was letting AD walk in the rain, holding her umbrella, holding the flowers, and he wasn't holding anything. When she got cold, he didn't offer her jacket. His mom actually had to offer her shawl to give to her when she said she was a little bit chilly. It was just little things like that that kind of bothered me. And then also, too, like, no husband of mine is going to be sleeping somewhere else. So you got to drive an hour. Baby, I'll make you a good playlist. I'll make sure you have some food, but you're not sleeping somewhere else. Now, if we talking about you got to go states over, do your thing, boo. But it's an hour away. Like, bruh, that's normal commute to work. And it seemed like he didn't really respect her job either, because I guess she does VIP management at a club, and she's a realtor. So it felt like he didn't really respect her relationship either. So I was happy that his mom was like, y'all got to give each other grace, and y'all both got to stop being selfish. Like, I need to figure out how to work to please one another. But I just don't think they're equally yoked. at all. I actually feel like the writing has been on the walls for quite some time now. Even from when he told her love ain't blind, like I need my girl to be stacked and I need my girl to go to the gym after she have a kid. AD, this not it. My man he is hurt and fractured and he needs healing and a lot of therapy. And I just don't think you could be that person for him. I'm just being honest. Like, it ain't looking too good for y'all. It's just not looking too good. But let's go to Chelsea and Jimmy. You know, honestly, Chelsea and Jimmy would have been saved for the most problematic couple. But because Jeremy out here lying and thotting and bopping, they got to be last. So Chelsea and Jimmy, another couple, like when the Lord said that you have to have the patience of a mustard seed, that's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. I know we make fun of Jimmy, and I know they said, did they say he looked like Osmosis Jones? What was they saying he looked like? I don't know, but I feel like Jimmy is a stand-up guy. He still ain't ish for how he treated Jess, but with Chelsea, he's a stand-up guy. Because the way I would have left Chelsea back on the honeymoon when she got upset after the whole AD thing, honey, we would have never made it past the honeymoon, okay? The fact that he humbled himself and apologized to Chelsea, even though I didn't think he was wrong, I do like a man that knows how to just, look, it's not even worth us being upset. Let me just apologize and make you feel safe and make you feel reassured. But then her being like, my feelings are valid. I'm like, girl, he's apologizing. Like, what? Like, he just validated your feelings, Chelsea. I said she won't get me mad, but she be having me stressed out, y'all. So then she was like, it was very awkward in the episode when everybody was like, thank you, AD, for letting us objectify you. Because it brought us closer together. I just thought it was weird when Chelsea said it, then Jimmy said it, then Jeremy said it to her. I was just like, y'all, this is really not coming off the way y'all think it's coming off. And it's just really crazy to me. Also, too, Chelsea and Jess, like, they use a lot of black vernacular and it bothers my spirit. I don't know if I'm the only one, but if I hear period and it's her saying, like, we tussled, even though they didn't get a chuckle out of me when she said, like, we tussled when AD asked her were they having sex, but it's just a little bit too much. I'd be like, hey, girl, it's Black History Month. Like, you gotta chill out just a little bit, okay? So, I do think that when they were still on the honeymoon talking to the couples, that sometimes they be trying to convince themselves that they like each other. I just feel like they really try to make this work, and I think they both chose wrong personally. That's just how I feel about it. But when she got to like the end of the trip and she was like, hey, like, what was the best part of the trip? What was the worst part? Like, how you get upset that he didn't say y'all arguing was the worst part? Like, ain't that a win? Like, why do you want to focus on the negative so much? Like, I just don't understand that. But then when we go back to the real world, he meets her roommate/friend. It's clear that he don't like her friend. But I was like, but to be honest, Jimmy, she acted just like Chelsea. So does that mean you don't like Chelsea either? Because I was just kind of confused, like, how he don't like one but like the other. I'm just saying. So Chelsea was very excited to tell her friends the story about how she won Jimmy from Jess. Notice that it was more for her talking about how she got the hot commodity in the pies. When I just feel like wasn't nobody looking for him but you and Jess. Like, wasn't nobody else looking for him. So they get into it because he like wins things over with her friends, okay? He like wins everything over with the friends. He did a really good job. And then she was like, well, you didn't kiss me today. And I was like, Beach, what? He didn't kiss you today? Ain't that man been at work all day, trapped in the closet? Like, what do you mean? He been working. I'm getting upset again, I'm sorry. So I felt like she was really upset because he saw a picture of Jess. And that's what she had mentioned to her friends. She was insecure about it because she's highly insecure. And she really wanted to start an argument because she felt like he had been acting weird because he saw a picture of Jess and she was like, she looked better than me. So she felt like he was worried about that. So he's looking at her crazy. I'm looking at her crazy. Chelsea in Delulu land. And I was just like, I don't know how he can even calmly talk to her. Like, I felt like I probably would have started yelling because I can't even believe that I'm having this conversation in the first place. And after all of this, he was like, actually, I did kiss you. I kissed you when you was in the bathroom, Trick. Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, oh. And then she comes out like basically why she's really upset. And then he was just like, girl, you being clingy. And she was like, clingy? I thought she was gonna turn into Katie Kaboom. That might be showing my age. If anybody watched Animaniacs, they'll know who Katie Kaboom is. But I'm happy she was able to admit that she was really upset about the picture. I do think that she was being hella clingy because I don't know how you mad at somebody that's in the same house as you and you see the man being locked in the room. He came straight downstairs to talk to your little raggedy ass friends. So I don't even understand what the problem is right now. Like, you just be making up stuff just to get into it. And then she's like, and I had sex with you. He's like, well, while we're at it, I think we need to take a breather from that too. And I was like, nah, Jimmy. I ain't never heard no man say, I want to take a breather from sex. That wasn't the time or place to say that, Jimmy. That wasn't the time or place to say that. Especially when you know you're dealing with someone that's highly insecure. I don't understand why he thought that was a good time to say that. But also, too, I don't know no man that's going to be like, hey, babe, I think we have sex a little bit too much, or you initiate sex too much. I was like, nah, Jimmy, I be trying to root for you. And I do be rooting for you 99.9% of the time. But this 0.01%, I couldn't do that. It was just too much. Now, Jimmy leaving did bother me because I just feel like everybody on this show just quits way too easily. That bothered my spirit. But they made up, honey. Like, they made up the next day. If it was me, I would have been done with her because that was just too much. And then her telling Jimmy, like, your line delivery needs to be better. I was like, I mean, yeah, about the whole, let's take a breather from sex, but everything else, I feel like he's been very patient with you. So once again, Chelsea, like, it's so easy for you to like talk about his flaws, but I don't think you really have done some like self-reflection that is very much needed at this point in time. So Chelsea goes to meet with his friends. Now, I do have a level of concern about his friends. Now, if these were your childhood friends, fine, great. They my sisters now too. If y'all had met in college or high school, something that like bonded you from something years ago, fine. My man said that he's only known them for 2 years. That's a cause of concern for me. That's very much. You know who I'm kind of side-eyeing right now during this whole interaction? It's the girl with the tig old bitties in the black shirt, okay? Now, there was a comment she had made, like when they were joking and Chelsea was telling him about the whole sex thing, and she was like, nah, I know he would never turn down sex. I said, well, bitch, do tell. How do you know? How do you know? How you know? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Because she was making some faces and kind of looking, and I was like, something don't feel right in my spirit. Something doesn't feel right in my spirit. And I don't know, 2 years and y'all friends like that? I don't know. I do feel like Chelsea's going to have issues because Chelsea's just very insecure. So I don't know what's going to happen. But for right now, they're not the most problematic, even though they should be. But we got to talk about Jeremy and Laura, who they were cute in the pods, but Laura does not seem like a likable human. Like, honestly, I don't see what Jeremy sees in her. If I'm gonna keep it a buck, if I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. So they got into it over a bean dip, which I don't know why any woman would tell him to go touch another woman's titties, but that's crazy to me. So I didn't like Jeremy sleeping on the couch. I don't like men that don't know how to communicate. If Jeremy would have slept on the couch and gave me the silent treatment, we would have been done. I don't like men that can't communicate. That's childish behavior. That's childlike behavior. Hey, I can tell you, hey, I'm upset. I need some space. That's fine. But you just grabbing your stuff and you want to sleep on the couch while we living in paradise? Absolutely not. I was happy that he told her he was wrong for ignoring her and, that he doesn't want to do that, but it still bothered me. And I'm happy she kind of told him, like, normally I would be done with somebody who would do the stuff that he does, but I don't know. Then Jeremy was being delulu when he was like, oh, I think we're one of the best couples in here. Like, I think we have great communication. Sir, you just gave her the cold shoulder. You didn't even sleep in the same bed. Like, be effing for real right now. I don't even understand what's going on. So, Jeremy apologized to AD, which is still just crazy. I did understand most of Laura's icks, like people spitting on the sink and like not cleaning it up. My God, children, they like, they just irk my spirit with this, but we're working on it. We're going to get better. I don't feel like that's something that adults should be struggling with. But hey, if that's her ick, that's her ick. Now, she gives me more like she's a mother than a lover to Jeremy, but I do like that, you know, Jeremy kept up his bargain when he said that he was clean. We love a man that's gonna keep it clean into his house. I was definitely here for it. But when he was showing her like the picture of her dad and like talking about like of his dad, like this is one of the last pictures, you know, we had, I felt like she was being like a little bit dismissive. Like she wasn't actively listening to anything that he said. That could just be production editing stuff out. I don't know. But when she said his house gives her, she said his house gives her serial killer vibes, but in a good way. Now, Laura, how is serial killer vibes in a good? Please do tell. Explain that to me how that's supposed to work. I was very scared that I don't know how seeing Laura's family. And I was happy that they kind of told her, like, girl, you need to chill out. Like, the stuff that you worried about is very trivial. I still don't see how that's her family, but that's Laura. Because they seem like two totally different people. And I don't know. She don't seem like a good person. I'm sorry. I don't know that woman. I'm sure she's probably a nice woman, but she just don't seem nice to me. But one of the things that I do appreciate about Jeremy and Laura is they were one of the most nosy, instigating, messy people, asking all of the right questions. If they wanted to be journalists, I would let them do it. I feel like Jeremy should have his own cleaning show. I feel like Laura should be an interviewer because the way that she was asking all of the right questions, I was totally here for it. She ends up meeting up with Jess. Jess was the person that was in the love triangle with Chelsea and Jimmy. So she basically asked Jess, like, first of all, I felt like she was shading Jimmy. She was like, well, he's not totally gross. And I was like, Laura, like, this girl loves this man. Like, let her, like, her little Osmosis Jones or whoever they say that he looked like. But she was asking her the right questions because while Jess, it didn't make sense. Jess said that he sent her a friend request as soon as, like, they got their phones back, okay? And then she said she didn't respond for 8 hours and he had already deleted the request. But what I was confused about, because she was like, I'm not checking for him. But then she had somehow found his whole dating history. Like, that part didn't make sense to me. So you said you didn't accept the friend request. You let the friend request sit so long that he deleted the friend request. But somehow you were able to go find all of his exes and said that they look like you? Somebody lying. Somebody lying. Because how does that work? How did you find it? Because I don't think you can have that much access to somebody, like, if you're not friends. I don't know. That's just me. But it was a lot. But then Jess, Laura told Jess about how Sarah Ann slid up in the DMs. And she was like, why would she do something like this? And I was like, well, 2 words. Zach Bliss. Okay? 3 words. Zach and Bliss. Because of what happened in the 2 seasons before last, in season 4, and the reason that now people feel like it's okay to like slide in the DMs, like, hey, just in case it's not working out during your honeymoon, maybe I can like get back in and we can still be on TV and be together. I do feel like there has to be some rule that you can't approach people on social media, that you can't like find people on social media. I just felt like everybody kind of going to look to see who the other person was while they're still in the middle of the experience. I felt like that was a little bit too much. I don't know. It was just a bit too much to me, but I guess, honey, I guess. All right. But Laura, all of a sudden out of nowhere, okay? Laura's like, where were you? And I was like, what you mean? Like, what happened? Where was he? She was like, you didn't come home till 5 o'clock in the morning. I said, 5 o'clock in the morning? I said, what was you doing? And then she talking about I was at Lost and Found. I was like, I know this not going anywhere good. So then she asked him these questions. He's obviously lying. It feels like he doesn't want to say anything on camera. Like, and then it comes out that he was with Sarah Ann. And then he's like, I just felt like we needed to talk. She seemed like she was upset. I don't care if that whole upset. Let her be upset. What she got to do with you? You made your choice. Like, what other closure did you have? You said no, and you said yes to me. Like, what do y'all need to still talk about? Like, that will be a problem for me as well. But my girl had the tracking on. She was like, y'all want to know damn parking lot? Because you wasn't at your parking lot. Actually, you was by Sarah Ann's house. And I sat up and I said, huh? That location sharing is going to get you every single time. I think he slept with her. You can't tell. First of all, it was too many lies, too many inconsistent stories. The plot kept thickening every single time she asked him a question. When I say that Laura is a really great, like, when I say she is a fantastic interviewer and following up, like, she needs to host, like, she needs to be the next host of Cheaters, actually, okay? If they want us to do a reboot of Cheaters and put it on Netflix, I feel like she should be the host. Because I feel like her what is it? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. She was a great investigator, all right? She was giving. So yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but you can't tell me that he didn't smash Sarah Ann, because I'm trying to figure out, so you need to give her closure for somebody that you never actually saw in person, that y'all talked for a couple of days, and you said you was done at 2, and you didn't come home until after 5 a.m.? How that make sense, Jeremy? Because it ain't making sense, okay? So that's why for this batch of episodes this week, Laura and Jeremy's gonna be our most problematic couple. But overall, how I feel about these episodes is I do feel as though they have the right balance of couples talking, having crucial conversations. I do hope that they follow up with Brittany and Kenneth, because they kind of just ended things and they just continued the show like they never existed. I just hope that we get more answers. I'm very disappointed in Kenneth. After these batches of episodes, I truly only see, I kind of see Chelsea and Jimmy just being toxic and getting married. And I do see Amy and Johnny like getting married. But honestly, AD girl, run for the hills. And then somebody please put him on the next installment of like Celebrity Rehab, or what was it? Didn't we used to have a celebrity like therapy or couples therapy? Something, honey. That's where Clay needs to be, because he does need help. But it's not looking good for most of these couples. Kenneth was definitely smashing somebody else, had another boo thing on the side, something. Because the way he called his friend, like, come get me, it didn't sit right in my spirit. She didn't deserve that either. If you didn't like the girl, just say you didn't like her and just leave the show. Like, he played in her face. He gaslit her. I was very disappointed. Yeah. I hope they find a way to talk about Amy and Johnny without us having to talk about contraceptives, vasectomies, birth control. I'm tired. We on episode 9, okay? We only got 3 episodes left. I don't want to hear nothing about birth control, condoms, nothing for the last 3 episodes, okay? I don't want to hear anything about it, period. Okay. Those are my quick, but not quick at all, thoughts on these last couple of episodes of Love is Blind. We will be doing a live stream Saturday at 11 Eastern, a.m. Eastern time. So come and hang out with me and my special guests. We always have fun. So those are my thoughts on Love is Blind Season 6, Episodes 7 through 9. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pay Your Way. If you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, okay? And make sure you hit the notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.